Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Carlucci, and I am here today with Gail Russell, and we are going to talk to her about her trial with coronavirus as well as MS, correct? Yes. Okay, we're going to flip this around and we're going to ask some questions. All right, so basically, Gail, I was told that you had coronavirus.
Right.
And you also have MS. How long have you had MS?
I was diagnosed in July of 1975.
So that's quite a few years at this point.
Yeah, I was
19
blind and paralyzed.
Blind and paralyzed? That was your initial symptom?
Yeah. And they put me in the psychiatric ward.
Really?
Yeah, they told me it was all in my mind.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So was that like common back then?
No, they used to call it the mystery disease.
Right, because it mimics
They
other
had
diseases.
no idea what it was about.
Right.
It took them 28 days in the hospital for them to diagnose me.
Right.
And they said they weren't gonna, the diagnosis was 98% sure.
Right.
That they did there were 2 CAT scan machines on the East Coast. One was in East Orange. And I guess the other was in New York. So they put me in an ambulance. My father came with me. We were in the ambulance. I had a Band-Aid box. Remember the old metal Band-Aid boxes?
Yeah, sure.
That was my ashtray. I could smoke in the ambulance
In those days, yeah.
On the way.
So not only did they not really know what MS was back then,
Right.
there was only 2 MRI machines back then.
Right.
And you could
No,
smoke
it
in the
wasn't
ambulance.
MRI, it was a CAT scan.
Oh, CAT scan, yes.
And they took me to this building, and it had a spiral staircase. So, since I was paralyzed, they had to put me on a canvas stretcher and wind me up the stairs.
Right. So then, after they did your after they did your examination, they didn't know what was wrong, so they put you in a psych ward?
Yeah.
Wow. How long were you there?
Well, I was in the psych ward first. It wasn't long, but
Okay, well that's good.
it was long enough for me to feel like,
Right.
maybe they're right. Maybe I am crazy.
Right. And then from there, once they did the CAT scans, did they diagnose you?
No. They took every test they could possibly take, I guess they saw lesions on my brain,
Right.
which, they were just really kind of figuring out what MS was.
Were you paralyzed totally, upper and lower body?
It was, it started on the right side. My right side was paralyzed. And that happened for a while. And then I had physical therapy and occupational therapy at home. And I worked real hard. I got back. And then the left side left.
How long were you blind?
It wasn't really that long, but it was long enough to freak me out.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So,
And then did you ever regain fully and then
I don't have a left field of vision.
Okay.
So,
And then when it hit the left side, did you go for more physical therapy? Did it
well, I always did physical therapy.
always
All right along through all of it.
right? Amazing.
Because that was really the key. And the
How old
insurance
were you there?
I was 21.
At 1975, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you couldn't work, obviously.
Oh, I did work.
You did work?
Yeah.
Yeah. All through that whole thing, huh?
Through the whole.
Because Babs told me your story, and it was so interesting to me that there's people who keep going, and then there's people who kind of give up.
Yeah.
And you just don't give up.
No.
And why? I mean, really, I guess you don't feel bad for yourself either.
Oh, God, no.
No. So how long were you able to work until you had to be like...
Well, I worked until 1990. 98. I had almost 20 years in.
Yeah,
I was
20 years
a month
in.
short of 20 years.
And then when did you become wheelchair bound?
Just about 7 years ago.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
you see. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, I think about that.
And thankfully, with the advent of like the technology, with like your chair,
Thank
I mean,
God.
you're like independent.
Yeah. Well, I had used scooters.
Yeah.
At one point, I had 8 scooters in my apartment. I had all different kinds.
Yeah. So one worked for one thing and one worked for
Well, they were
another,
great.
and
Yeah, I had one that you could take apart and throw in the trunk.
right,
I
right.
had 2 of them. I had a little one and a big one.
Yeah. But this is great. This one is great.
Oh, this is a bit, but this you have to go on Access Link.
Right.
One of the-
I hope she doesn't start until we're done.
one of the.
She's the
Oh,
lady
is
wants
she?
to sing, and
Oh shit!
yeah.
Is she the?
So anyway, all right. So tell me about, before anything happens with that. Tell me about the how the coronavirus felt. How
Well,
bad was that?
That wasn't bad at all.
That didn't hit you bad?
No, not at all.
Amazing. So how did you know you had it? Did you have symptoms?
No, I live in a nursing home and they tested everybody.
So you were asymptomatic,
Yeah, and they said you know, you're positive,
right?
and the whole wing was positive.
Really? Really? So did
They lost quite a few people.
they did lose people, huh? But you survived with no symptoms or anything. Yeah. Uh-oh. We're going to get over.
Keep leaving.
Yeah.
Keep going.
We got somebody singing in the background, so we're going to wait a few minutes. Because maybe she'll walk by. Okay. So, what did they do? They just kind of locked you guys up into your wing,
Yeah,
basically?
We were totally in quarantine. This is, we finally are allowed to have visitors.
Yes. And then when did they test you for your antibodies?
That was, I was diagnosed on April 20th was the day they told me I was positive. And then the next month, I think. It was like a month.
It was a month.
I think.
And then when you qualified for the convalescent, obviously, for
Yeah.
giving convalescent.
Yeah.
And
I could do that until I got there and they said no.
okay, so it was all good until, because of the types of chairs that they have,
Yeah.
you couldn't get out of the chair
Right.
and into their chair with the, because how did the tubes have to go? You had tubes coming in one side?
Well, that's how they do it. They tubes on one and then like an in and an out.
And in and out.
And behind you is where they separate the
That's
plasma
where the
from
tank,
the
right, the
blood.
plasma gets separated from the
Yeah.
blood behind you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to work for you because of the chair.
Yeah, because I couldn't get out of the chair
Yeah, it's amazing. And how did you get there?
on Access Link.
So you order the access link and you go.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about, people overcoming obstacles. Like you're willing to go, I figured the hospital would come pick
Well,
you up or something.
See, I don't get any money, so a couple of my friends gave me, the money for the ride.
Yeah, of course. Well, which is very nice. But the
I
thing
have-
is,
I have
the fact
greatest friends in
the
the
fact
world.
that you were willing to take the effort to go to donate your plasma when it's such an obviously a task for you, or maybe you don't see it that
I
way.
don't see it that way at
But
all.
there's people who are, they have 2 legs and they're healthy, and everything is a task for them. And it blows my mind when I meet people like you
Yeah,
who
but
are.
it's so sad.
It is so sad because I feel like they really waste their lives when there's so much more they could be doing.
See, the MS has given me so much.
Is that interesting?
It is, because I have the amount of friends I have is amazing.
So you
How
see
wonderful my friends are.
like what somebody would feel bad about,
Yeah.
for themselves. You see it as almost like
Yeah, but I don't like talking to them because I could tell them what to do.
yeah.
And I do.
So it's like a blessing.
It is. Absolutely it is.
That's wild. I like that attitude a lot.
It's true.
That is perfect. So anyway, okay. So I'm going to end the podcast here so that you and I can just sit and talk for a little bit. We're going to end it there. Bye-bye.